Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance.
Good evening, good evening, good evening to all of our Facebook friends and our YouTubers out there. Thank you all so much for continuing to join us every Monday at 7:30, Star Network. So, Keisha, you and I have been for the last month. I just roped you into this thing. The secret is out. I roped you into this thing, and here we are. The conference is 5 days away. And
I can't believe it.
I can't either. I can't either, but it's alive and well. And we just thank all of our viewers for continuing to like, share, comment. And we're not going to hold you all too long. I know you all want to hear from Mr. Othor Cain, the fabulous Othor Cain. And we've got some scholarships that we're giving out at the end of this live. So we've got two sponsors. One is Carla Kirkland, and one is an anonymous sponsor. And so they've agreed to sponsor 5 folks apiece. And we're excited to be able to announce those names. So we're going to go ahead and bring somebody into the hot seat. I don't know if it's the hot seat. How you doing?
What's happening? How are y'all?
Doing good. Look, we have to tease and say you're in the hot seat because typically other folks are in the hot seat, right? Answering your questions.
And I got to tell you, it is strange being on this side of the mic. I'm thinking, what are they going to ask me? So yeah, it's very strange being on this side.
That's okay. You know, we've learned so much from you, and you and I talked about this weekend, and Keisha, we talked this weekend about how much planning it takes to do just one live, right? We're only doing a Monday live, but yet you're doing several and all different kinds. So we really appreciate the dedication and the commitment that you're, I guess, just really to the community to get those answers and responses. So we appreciate you coming.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. But I'm excited about your conference. I'm excited about this. I think doing a conference virtually is a major undertaking, period, right? But the subject matter that you guys are operating under is going to be amazing. These are some challenging times, and school districts across the country, not just in Mississippi, but school districts across the country are facing unprecedented challenges like never before. And for you two ladies to do this, to present this, y'all are rock stars. And I got to tell you, that music, that opening music, I'm a little jealous. The music was pretty fire. I'm a little jealous there. I got to tell TC, brother, we got to do something. The music was pretty fire, you know.
Look, because you know, it's Monday afternoon and everybody knows what Monday brings to the work week. And so just a little spark. Sometimes Keisha and I are backstage and just
I was bobbing my head just then. Yeah, it's great. It's great music. But in all fairness and seriousness, the undertaking that y'all have put yourselves through, you're to be commended. It's major work. It's major work, and it's necessary work to be lifted up. So I'm excited that you've asked me to play a small part in it. So.
Well, And with that being said, you know, we've brought you on to, you know, just kind of share kind of what are you thinking at this point. We've basically, you know, we'll give you some questions to ask for the conference, and in the moderating of the superintendents. But you know, I think we want to give our viewers a chance to comment and, you know, share what types of questions they would want to know from superintendents. So we do encourage you guys to share some questions, but also, you know, at this point, you know, what, as a community member, as someone who's outside of education, what kind of circling, as we say in education, what kind of circling in your mind about what is it that you would even want to know from superintendents on the panel?
That's a good question. So I think because we are in such an unprecedented time, I think now transparency is of the utmost importance, right? People want somebody to be just real, and I don't think people expect superintendents to have all of the answers, right? I don't think they expect them to have all of the answers, but we darn sure want to at least feel like you're leading and feel like you're telling the truth, and we just want to know, you know, how are you dealing with the pandemic personally, and then. Because when you deal with it from a personal standpoint, it's one thing to deal with it from a personal standpoint, but it's another thing to deal with it from a leadership standpoint. And so sometimes you have to balance the two. Now I'm operating like this over here, but now how do I go present myself in the public here? And for me, that's what I really, really want to know: the transparency of leading their respective districts during this pandemic. And we know that there are monetary challenges, right? Budgets are connected to students being in place. So I kind of want to talk about the money a little bit. You know?
Well, they know that you're moderating, right? So they know exactly what they're going to get. So I've even had a few that said, now, can you kind of give me some ideas of what's going to be asked? But, you know, but yeah, we agree, you know, with those sentiments.
Yeah,
Right.
because I think most of them are doing a great job.
Yes, yes, definitely.
So I agree, you know, we agree with the transparency and having a plan, I think is what I hear you say. You know, you have to plan for everything, right? So if you don't plan for it, anything can happen, or somebody else will have a plan for you.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. You know, I had a teacher that used to had an old saying about planning, and it's going to come back to me because it just left me. But there's an old cliche about planning. Something with planning and failing. Y'all may know what I'm talking about, but it's going to come to me. But I think that you're spot on. You got to have a plan. You know, a leader is charged with the responsibility of at least making us feel like there's a plan going on, even if you can't solve it, even if you can't really do it, but make me feel like you got a plan.
Right. I think the cliche is something like, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail.
That's it. That's it.
Like that.
That's it. I knew one of you educators would get it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it.
No, look, it just came back.
You're just spinning your wheels. You're just going in circles. So that's it. Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
So I agree with the planning, but also, you know, some of the thoughts circle around my mind is, what will education look like post-pandemic, right? So we know what it looked like pre-pandemic. We know some of the challenges we faced pre-pandemic, and some of those challenges kind of reared their ugly head during the pandemic, right? Yes. Some of the inequities, you know, technology, you know, teacher capacity. So what would education look like post-pandemic? So will we still offer students a traditional as well as a virtual platform for learning, right? You know, when we think about the water crisis, I mean, so will we still have opportunities for students to engage virtually when we go back, you know, traditionally, so to speak? So those are some of the things circling in my mind as well.
I like that. You know, I told somebody the other day, in as much as the pandemic exposed our weaknesses and our deficiencies, you know, it also gave us an opportunity to hit the reset button because there are a lot of rural school districts, even JPS, you know, now all of our students have all of this technology, all of this equipment now is at their fingertips. And heretofore, they would not have had access to that. So in as much as the pandemic has exposed our deficiencies, it has also allowed us to get some of the things that we really need and that we've needed for a very, very long time, but budgets would not necessarily dictate that, right? So to your point of post-pandemic, right? What, you know, I cringe every time someone uses the word, I'd be glad when we get back to normal. Well, what was normal before? Right? You know what is normal? Like, I don't like some of the things that we were dealing with pre-pandemic. So what is normal? Do we really want to go back to that kind of normal? You know what I mean? Right. So yeah, that's a great question. I'm gonna poke on that one.
Yes, and I agree with you. This is an opportunity to define the new normal, right? So I agree with the opportunity to reset and to re-envision what education, not you know, in Mississippi as well as the nation, looks like for our students and the opportunities that we can provide for them. Another thing that I think about is, you know, during this time of a pandemic, we have seen, you know, nationally how communities have partnered with schools and supported schools, right? So how can we as educators continue to foster those relationships, right? We want to sustain those relationships, you know. I mean, I have just seen nationally how churches have gotten hot spots, you know, how, you know, your local community centers have gotten hot spots and places for students to, you know, be able to have access because they may not have access in, you know, rural parts of our state. So you know, one thing that circles around in my mind is the way to sustain those partnerships and make them stronger.
I think exactly what you ladies are doing is a part of that, right? Making people understand not only the value of education, but how even non-educators can play a role in this space, right? When you mention churches, I think quickly to Cain Chapel Church, Pastor Buckley. You know, people can pull up in the parking lot, just get a space, and you can get connected to their hotspot, their Wi-Fi, you know, at Cain Chapel. So people are thinking outside the box and doing some things. I'm a member of the 100 Black Men of Jackson. I pitched to the brothers, we've got to get a mobile app to meet these kids where they are. We can't get into the buildings and mentor, but there's an app that we can do everything on this app that we could do face to face, right? So we've got to think differently. And I think partnerships are the key to doing that. And what you ladies are doing, you're providing a platform to make people understand the importance of those partnerships. So kudos to you. But yeah, we got to sustain because guess what? Not only is the pandemic not over, I think that we're going to be here for a little while longer, right? But even beyond that, you know, how do we continue to increase and acknowledge and lift up the value of education?
Right. And one of the things that that's circling in my mind is attendance. So pre-pandemic, if you were sick with strep, the flu, you know, you were home for those allotted number of days and you just made up the work when you came back. So this is kind of interesting because Keisha and I talked about this. You know, we're so much about promoting self-care and social emotional learning, right? But then now we have access, even if we're sick or even if there's no transportation, we can still engage in learning. And so how much of a balance can we make? Okay, so this is something new. We can think about reaching our students who, you know, are sick, but they're still feeling well enough to participate in class and do the work. So, you know, now going back, we can still what we call simulcast, you know, have the teacher set up on Zoom or whatever platform. There's Google Meet, there's Zoom, there's FaceTime, there's Microsoft Teams, all of these platforms to ensure that one or two who are out sick that day can still engage in the learning. Or what if they miss us? Or, I mean, it could be so many different things going on on that particular day and they can still engage. But, so when you're sick, you need to take time to get well as well. So how do we balance that? I guess kind of like us right now, we have to make time to be off of our cell phones, right? Or to be, so I do wonder what that balance, this new balance, I'm not promoting new balance, but what this new balance is going to look like, post pandemic.
That's great. That's a great space to have a conversation, because who knows what will it look like, right?
Right.
And I do think that you have to find a balance. But as you were saying that, Dr. Grisby, something popped into my brain. I think we going into this, right? And can you believe that we will be at this place where it's almost a year? Like we're right at a year, right? Right at a year. But what popped in my mind is something that we don't talk about enough. I think we always say, kids have access to these smart devices, and they can do more on these devices than we can, and they're so easy to get this. But there are a lot of kids out there whose attention span is not that great. I had a kid one of my kids at the Boys and Girls Club said to me, he said, "Mr. Othor, I know that I'm going to fail this year." He said, I cannot sit in front of a computer that long, right? Smart kid, right? But he has an attention deficit disorder, right? And he was like, you might as well just sign me up for failure right now. And I don't think we have talked enough about that piece, right? And so I think as educational leaders, we have got to consider educating from a holistic point of view and really realizing all of the deficiencies that exist in these scholars.
And you look that now you are right up at, we're elementary folks, now during the conference, we're going to have middle school folks, high school folks, but I mean, that is right up our alley, because we do know, honestly, from the ages 0 to 8 years old, there are some developmentally appropriate things that our scholars need to engage in to be able to be successful,
right,
in the classroom. And that doesn't necessarily mean being tied to some type of technological device. At all, actually, and I'm sure that there are recommendations out there for the amount of time that they should be on a given day. So, as we just think about the conference and the panel, and again, for our viewers just getting in, if there's some additional questions that you would like for Othor Cain to consider asking our superintendent, questions we want to know. So this is an opportunity for our conference attendees to get a chance to be a fly on the transparent walls of the superintendent. What really is going on in their minds as they're making these really tough decisions?
Tough decisions.
Yeah. So
I think it'll give us an opportunity to hear varied perspectives, because we have superintendents that represent different districts across the state, right? So, from our urban to our rural time. So we have various superintendents who can give us different perspectives just based on their communities, based on what they're seeing in their districts. And then we can also see some trends and some commonalities among all districts, in the state of Mississippi.
So I got to tell y'all again that y'all are the real MVPs, right? So to be able to assemble a panel of superintendents like you've done, it's amazing, because I can only imagine that, there are some egos somewhere, right? But to get them to be able to consent, to doing this, that's amazing. That's amazing work. So kudos to you. That's good stuff.
Well, thank you. I'm just, excited that, we were saying at the beginning, Keisha, I set a goal for 8, and Keisha was like, okay, Kathleen, oh, you just working me. And so we got a certain number, and I said, yeah, it's okay, but by the
Get
and when we
Your
got
goal
it, I was like, yeah, this is what we were, So we weren't gonna take that laying down, right? We were just gonna find some folks who were willing. And you're right, Keisha. We have representatives from county school district, the urban school district. We've got folks from North Mississippi, South Mississippi, rural, you name it. And then the diversity too.
Yeah.
So happy to have, two females where we've got our males and it's just a great mix of folks. So it is going to be interesting to see what they have to say. Well, Othor, we really, really appreciate you. We know your time is valued. Look, just like the superintendents, we were hoping to get you in today, and I'm so glad you could make it.
It's
And
good to be here.
Appreciate you so much.
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to Saturday. You will see the fruits of your labor on Saturday, right? So I'm excited about it. I think it's gonna be great. Much needed. So kudos to you again. And I appreciate the invitation to serve.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. You take care.
All right, take care. Good night.
All right. Bye-bye. So, guys, you have just heard from the Othor Cain, and we're so excited to have him as the moderator. As you could see, if you've seen him, he will ask the hard questions that you all have been wanting to know, and to gain a level of transparency from our superintendent. But you all know what time it is. Whoop, whoop. We have been planning all along to finally do the Wheel of Names, our scholarship vote. So again, a special thank you. She could not be here today. Carla Kirkland is going to sponsor 5 of our winners. And then there'll be an anonymous person. So I'm going to try this out, you all. We're just trying out new things as we're going live, and hopefully this thing will work for us. And let's see. Okay, so let's see if we can add it to the stream. Woo! We got it. Are y'all ready?
We are ready.
All right. So first person, I'm going to spin the wheel. Let's see. I hear it ticking. All right. We got Angela F. All right. You're our first person. And look, for all of our winners, we will send in the information that you need to get into the conference. And as you all know, we've got t-shirts as part of the conference and some other materials. And because we're 5 days away and it's not too late to register, the t-shirts will come. The t-shirts will come. I don't know if I can share the shirt for those of you who may have not seen them. This is a shirt, y'all. Soaring in all seasons, 2021 Star Network Conference. So that's our shirt. We're so excited about that. And so with that said, let's go to the next spin. Person number 2. Rakisha G. Congratulations, Rakisha. Let's see. And hopefully it will not continue to spin on the same names. I may have to remove some name. Jennifer.
Yay!
Congratulations. I could have sworn I heard a woo in the background. Awesome. Okay.
My man needs to be on here. I just got excited.
We have Ifioma. Congratulations. All right. Woo. That's our 4th person. Am I right, Keisha?
Yes.
Just want to make sure.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Person number 5. Nope. We've already gotten Ifeoma. We I
So,
might
so
start
see if you
removing.
can, if you can remove her.
Okay. Okay. All right. Remove. There we go. That way we can make sure that.
Yeah.
Okay. Person number 5.
Let's see.
And we've already gotten Miss
Oh,
Jennifer. Okay. All right. Here we go.
it's all right. Come on down. Woo-hoo.
All right.
This is right.
Tiffany. Did we have Tiffany already?
No, we didn't have Tiffany. She's number 5.
All right, Tiffany.
And then remove.
All
Yeah.
right.
5
Okay.
more. Come on.
Come on down. It sounds like we're doing another game, right?
It does. We done mixed games together.
Oh, I'm writing these names down. We're
I'm writing
combining a couple
it
of
down as
those. Okay, here we go.
well. This number 7.
Kimberly, I believe. Yes, Kimberly.
Kimberly. Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
Woo woo.
All right. Number 8. These are scholarships we've already called. Rakisha, we will remove so we can give someone else an opportunity. Spin that
Yeah.
wheel. Go, go, go.
Go, go. Let's see.
Deshandra.
Yay.
Woo. Okay.
You have 2 more.
2 more, 2 more.
Go, go, go.
Okay. Okay, we already know about the Star Network virtual conference. We will remove that. We got it going on. All right, 2 more. I think this wheel is adding to the suspense of the last 2.
I know.
Katie.
Yay, Katie.
All right, Katie.
1 more. Yeah. Ooh, ooh.
I feel like we're playing musical chairs now. So we got
I do
musical
too.
chairs. Come on down.
You only have 2 shares.
Oh, Andrea.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So we got our 10, right?
Yes.
I believe so. We've got our 10. Y'all, thank you so much. Thank you so much. You guys get access to the conference, scholarship, T-shirt, and the conference material. So congratulations to you all. So this will more than likely, you just never know, things may come up at the last minute, but this will more than likely be our last live leading up to the conference. But you all have truly inspired us over the last month to continue to keep this thing going, to talk about several other topics. We're looking at the fact that March is Women's History Month. So we'd really like to celebrate some of our female educators and their commitment and the work to this work, and continue to discuss these topics. We'd love to come back and share with you all next Monday on the conference and what we learned and just all of that good stuff. So thank you all again for joining us tonight. We really appreciate you all. And don't forget to comment, like, and share. Comment, like, and share.
There's still time for you to register for the conference at www.star-network.org. So there is still time to register for the conference. We'll make sure you get your materials. But we are so excited about the opportunities for educators that we're going to provide on Saturday.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you remembered to say that, because that's the question that we keep getting. People who know us are texting us, can we still register after we find out about the scholarships? And So yes, definitely you can still continue to register. So with that said, thank you all
We
so
do
much
have
for
CEU
your support.
opportunity. I forgot about that. We do
Oh
have
yes,
CEU opportunity.
CEUs for sure. Yes, CEUs. Well, guys, we are gonna let you go. You all have a wonderful evening. Take care.